Welcome, it's Adrian here, and this is a 30 days chess challenge from almost complete beginner to 1500 ELO and beyond. This is day 1. As I said in a first video, we will have 4 parts. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we've got the first part of the challenge, which is 2 high-quality chess puzzles. And we're gonna jump right into it. Actually, before we're gonna move on, I would like to recommend you to, I'm gonna leave the link in the description for you to check it out. But I would like to encourage anyone who will watch this episode to do the challenge, him or herself. Really valuable stuff. Yevhenii, I still refuse to say he's super complicated. Surname, tons of value, pure talent to share chess knowledge, to simplify, really to put in a simple terms, complicated chess theory. Pure talent, really extraordinary stuff. I can't stress enough, like, you will be missing out if you're not gonna go through that challenge. Okay. So, 3 things that got my attention when I look at that puzzle. First one, we've got 2 sets of pawns, 2 squares away from potentially queening, the white pieces, our pieces. We are white, by the way, and our job is to find the best possible move for white. And also in this case, our opponent also has 2 pawns, 2 squares away from queening, potentially queening, promoting in general. And second thing is this bishop, to give the check using a bishop, really tempting. And the third one, which is part. The word that highlights my tendency to commit that cardinal sin quite often. It's just not paying attention to my opponent's, to what my opponent wants to do. And that's really bad in chess, because we do not play chess on our own. We play against other opponent, and our opponent, in exactly same fashion, wants to destroy us as we want to destroy our opponent. So that means that our opponent will be trying to discover the best strategy to deliver that fatal blow, and also will try to exploit our inaccuracies and mistakes. So that should be the very first thing that I do pay attention to. What my opponent wants to do. Is there any danger from my opponent's side? Should I react? Should I do something? And then focus on things that I want to do to my opponent. And having said that, is there anything here that my opponent could use to endanger me? The only thing, apart from those 2 pawns being dangerously close to promote, also I'm thinking about this pawn giving a check and then opening the diagonal, and maybe moving this other pawn in the future, which, especially on this level that I'm on, this could be really dangerous, because if I just pay, if I'm really fired up, oh, I've got 2 pawns just 2 squares away from queening, and I just don't care about my opponent, I'll just queen and I'll be okay, and then just it will be easy. Then if I'm gonna lose my attention for a second, I can find myself in a huge trouble. And to be honest, that was a case in the past. Many times I had many games that I was quite dominating the game for majority, for the major part of the game, and then due to lack of focus and maybe feeling a little bit overconfident, I just stopped paying attention to my opponent, and then my opponent was the one who was delivering that final blow. So this is something that is definitely something that should be improved on my part. Pay attention to your opponent's intention. Okay, so what is our option here? So moving this bishop could make intuitive sense because I'm giving a check, and there is that common theme in solving the puzzles. I think I got this right, maybe I'm confused here, to just look for the checks. But if I'm gonna give the check, then actually I don't think it does, that doesn't do anything much. So that moves me to, to shift my attention to those 2 pawns. Is there anything that I could exploit about them 2 pawns? And out of 2 possible moves, I'm thinking straight away, I'm thinking about e7. Moving e7, if my opponent takes with the knight, I recapture with the pawn, he can, then he has to move he or she has to move the king out of the way, and I'm queening. And I think that will be the solution to this puzzle. Yeah, okay, congratulations. You completed this lesson. Let me analyze this quickly. So, what black can do in this situation? So, we are 1 move from queening. I don't see any knight move. So, the only option here is to take. Take. Yeah, that's it. Pretty much, that's it. Okay, so we got this right. We will move to the next chapter. In this case, we have to find the best move for black. First, we're not gonna make the same mistake as previously. Let's look at the our opponent's intentions. First, very worrying thing is that our opponent is 1 square away from queening. Is there so that will have to be addressed? That definitely should be addressed somehow. But now the question is, should I address it immediately, or is there anything that I could do around his king? Moving this pawn, he can just move away, and we still have a pawn issue. How can we save or stop that pawn from queening, potentially queening, promoting? I can move my king out of the way so the bishop will occupy that diagonal. Now the question is, where should I move it? I don't have many options, and I think And I think the solution is to move the king to f5. Okay, congratulations. You completed this lesson. So we have two relatively easy puzzles behind us. The main takeaway, always pay attention to your opponent's intentions. You're not playing your game alone. Your opponent is trying to do exactly the same thing what you're trying to do to him or her. So keep an eye on your opponent and always try to counter. So the principle of the day, resilience. It was a little bit weird because the way the challenge is structured is you have the practical part, 2 chess puzzles, and then you have educational video that contains a message, the principle. And when I started to watch the video, beginning of it seemed to be more about a chess calculation, and then it's somehow transitioned into the resilience. I don't know, maybe I missed some dots, but you can just check it yourself. I'm gonna leave the link in the description, so I urge each of you to go through a 30-day chess challenge yourself. So resilience can be understood as the ability to deal with difficult circumstances. This is very popular concept these days. In the UK, it's especially very popular in the children's educational settings. But how do we understand resilience, or how could we understand the resilience and in the context of chess, and how could we apply resilience to chess? Considering my experience with chess, sometimes I find myself in a situation when I'm having a streak of lost games. It's not a one game, because usually losing one game doesn't trigger me. I don't think I've been ever triggered. But when I have a streak of the games that I lost, especially with the way lower rated players, it just gets me so angry and so emotional that it just immediately shuts down my abilities to, which are already limited, but limits them even further. And I'm so angry and I feel so lost and overwhelmed that seriously, I just move the pieces without even a bare minimum of like calculation. So resilience, I think, is strongly connected to that specific attitude in chess of being cool, calm, and collected. I know there are other situations in chess when we might blunder, we just might make something so silly that it just triggers us. But we have to remain cool. Listen, if the things go wrong and we will let them to get under our skin, there is only one outcome. It will get worse. So we have to take a step back, take a deep breath, and ask ourselves, what is the best possible thing I can do in that given moment? And on top of that, it is very helpful to remind ourselves that, yes, I blundered that queen. Yes, it was stupid. And it's really just embarrassing. But there is a reason for me to do that. Something led to me losing that queen. And therefore, that means that there is something that I can work on. And therefore, again, it means the opportunity to improve. And I know, and I know, and I know, when you have a low rating, the amount of the mistakes is just crushing and overwhelming. It's one after another, one after another, one after another. You just, in a situation when you have, I don't know, when you maybe do 5 good things and the rest hundreds are just blunders, mistakes, silly things that you just, you just commit. And then it's really hard to just commit yourself and focus to just, like, yeah, man, I'm making 100, bad things and maybe 5 right. But I have to commit myself to just wrestle with one obstacle at the time. I'll commit to just improve this thing. And instead of 100 things, I will have 99 and then 98 and then 97. And with time, with patience, with commitment, and with right intention, those mistakes will be, the number of these mistakes will be melting, will be decreasing. And I don't think our tendency to make mistakes will go away. Only because our rating goes up doesn't mean that our mistakes go down, or go away. We will be making other mistakes. The mistakes that 1600 players, 16 rated chess players are making. If you reach 2000 ELO, you will be making the 2000 ELO players' mistakes, and so on, so on. So I think this is just making the mistakes. I know it's like a buzzword or buzz sentence, but making a mistakes is a part of the process. But the way how we go about the mistakes can lead either to defeat or to be victorious. The negative is not in the obstacle itself. The tragedy is in our how we gonna react to it, how we gonna interpret the situation. If I'm gonna accept the limitation as a limitation, that is the very tragedy of the situation. So, if you find yourself at the bottom, detach yourself, accept it as a part of the process, accept that this is my reality, this is the level that I'm at, and I have to, remain focused. I have to have a right intention, right mindset, right attitude, and ethics and the discipline to just keep moving forward bit by bit, step by step. And then one day, those mistakes ain't gonna go anywhere. I will be still making them. But maybe, let's hope that with right approach to learning, to the process, I will be making those mistakes less. And those mistakes will be less fatal.